and welcome back to Smart Little Clinics. My name is Kristen and I am the trainer at Smart Little Acres. Today we will be starting our physical evaluation portion of the clinic, and I have chosen this first slide because when you do a physical evaluation on a horse, it is important to know the different body parts of the horse. So if you could pause the video and just take a moment to kind of see which parts are where on the horse, that will be very helpful in the future. Our first segment of the physical evaluation portion of our clinic is going to be about our horse's eyes. We are learning how to determine whether our horse has good eyesight, and we will learn about the different diseases in the horse's eyes. This will come in handy when you are purchasing a horse or when you get a horse in for rescue. Eye problems are very common in horses that are in the lower end market. And fun fact, horses that are blind are some of the very few horses that are not at risk for slaughter. However, that also causes problems with horses being put out to pasture and being neglected for that reason. Equine eye problems vary from superficial corneal ulcers all the way to cataracts and glaucoma. The first disease we will look at is corneal ulcers. These are usually seen as a white or bluish, quote-unquote, feather in the horse's eye. They will not be directly over the pupil, however, or cover the horse's entire eyeball. These do, however, require vet attention, as does any problem with your horse's eye. They are easily treated with steroids and/or antibiotics. The vet will be able to see how severe the problem is by adding a green dye to the horse's eyeball. No matter how superficial the laceration or the ulcer might be, this can cause scarring. And if left untreated, it can cause fungal or antibacterial infections, which can infect the entire eyeball and even cause blindness. When the feather covers the entire eyeball, as seen in this picture, it is known as uveitis, which is actual swelling in the eyeball itself. Uveitis can be a one-time thing, or it can be reoccurring. Because it is swelling in the eyeball, it can be very painful for the horse. In the case of reoccurring uveitis, some owners do opt to have the eyeball removed to help the horse live a more comfortable life. If left untreated, reoccurring uveitis can cause glaucoma in horses. Glaucoma can be managed with treatments, but it cannot be cured, and it does eventually cause blindness in horses. Reoccurring uveitis can also result in cataracts. However, cataracts can also be congenital, the result of trauma, or malnourishment. Foals born with cataracts usually have them in both eyes. Cataracts show up as white, almost reflective spot in the eye. They're usually centrally located. Cataracts block images but allow light to pass through. Because of this, the size of the cataract can change with the amount of light in the horse's environment. Horses with cataracts can sometimes see shadow, and during their adjustment period can be sensitive to light changes. Surgery, though expensive, can remove cataracts if there is no other eye problems involved. A fly mask not only helps with a light-sensitive horse, but also can prevent eye cancer. Eye cancer usually shows up as a growth or sores around the eyes. It may not be visible in its early stages without a professional exam. However, some horses are more prone to eye cancer than others. Horses with pink eyelids in particular. Some breeds are more prone as well. These are Haflingers, Drafts, Appaloosas, and Paints. It is wise to have regular exams and take preventative actions for these horses. The earlier you detect the cancer, the better chances you have to treat and cure it. Treatments include surgery, radiation, chemotherapy, immunotherapy, cryotherapy, and photodynamic therapy, depending on the type and severity of the cancer. We have covered what an eye looks like when there is a problem. Something else to look for when looking at the eye is if it looks glazed over or if the eyelid looks over-relaxed. This drowsy look could indicate that the horse is sedated. I also like to do an eyesight test when I evaluate the eye. The first test can be used to learn if the eye can detect images. In this test, you need to cover the eye you are not testing and wave your hand about 6 inches away. You are looking for a response in vision, so be careful not to create any wind that the sensitive eyelashes around the eye might respond to. The next test is used to learn if the eye is responding to light. Once again, you need to cover the eye you are not testing. Then use a pin light to shine light across the eyeball and wait for a response. Remember, horses with cataracts will respond to light but not to images. Of course, nothing replaces an eye exam performed by a vet. The reason I am sharing how to evaluate a horse's eye is not to deter you from adopting or buying a horse with an eye problem, but rather to prevent these horses from winding up in unprepared hands. Some horses with eye problems are easy to transition and make great partners in life, and some are very challenging yet still may be very rewarding with the right help. One example of a well-adjusted blind horse was Buckshot. Buckshot was rescued at an auction. Auctions are riddled with blind horses, and this is a very scary place for them. But Buckshot was chill, even in that environment. It was obvious Buckshot had cataracts with a touch of uveitis. However, the rescue still had the vet do an exam. Even though Buckshot seemed to be a very well-rounded horse, the rescue still had a professional do his training exam. They were thrilled to find out he was very safe broke. Buckshot even did well on trail rides, even during times when the light can bother a horse with cataracts. Buckshot booked his first adoption appointment with a young boy looking for a horse to grow with. It was love at first sight. Well, maybe first touch or sound for Buckshot. It was so nice to see the success of this adoption. Buckshot and his boy go on trail rides, do small shows, and have even learned how to rope together. Just because a horse is blind doesn't mean it is any less valuable. Some blind horses are still highly successful even in the show ring. Endo is a very famous blind horse. He is also an amazing ambassador for blind horses. Endo the Blind became an amazing horse because his owner decided to invest in his future. The training Endo received has made him who he is. However, not all horse owners have the knowledge or experience to train their own horse. Fear not, there are trainers like me who are well equipped to help these owners. Another professional that specializes in blind horse is Bobby Lee Russell at Shiloh Ranch Blind Horsemanship.
Blind horses have actually opened my eyes as a horsewoman, because what we strive for so greatly as horsemen and horsewomen is simply trust and to have a bond with our horse. both on the ground and under saddle. And to be quite honest, these blind horses have opened my eyes to a whole new world of what trust truly means. And it's walking by faith, not by sight. In the late year of 2015 and early year 2016, I began to work with a rescue located out of Kentucky, in which I were to offer my services to help unadoptable horses find their forever home and career. With that came a lot of life-changing opportunities. That is actually where I met my current horse, Darlin. On March 10th, 2016, I accepted to take on a fully blind horse who was a body score of around 3. She stepped off that trailer, and when I led her, she was just so full of life. No matter where she came from, no matter how she looked, you can just tell she knew who she was as a horse. And I was all over that. I had to keep telling myself, don't adopt her, don't adopt her. And I think it was the next day I adopted her. She pushed me to learn. She gave me the confidence back that was ripped from me as a horsewoman in the past. Confidence I didn't think I'd ever get back. My work with Darlin has opened up a massive door to helping hundreds of people. And it's opened the doors to help me work with people statewide. I'm helping someone in New York currently. I'm helping someone in Canada currently. And it's crazy to see that our work is actually becoming known. Through my work on Instagram, actually, I posted my work on my Instagram, and there's a German organization that I've been communicating with that wants to join forces a little bit and help educate on a higher level, pro blind horse. And they are so well known in Germany. They do amazing work out there. They do work with blind horses. They do educate their community on blind horses, and I am so honored to be able to even know them. So I'm very excited to see what the future holds. Darlin definitely started something great, for sure, and I do believe that it's only just begun. Our goal is to help the owner gain confidence in owning their blind horse or partially blind horse by giving them the education that they need in order to help that horse thrive. Through workshops, clinics, educational videos, and even competing on my blind horse, I hope to help inspire others to step up for blind horses and partially blind horses. I hope that by rehabilitating Darlin, training her, and hopefully competing her in the near future, will open the eyes of many to this growing concern that is the blind horse.